You probably know Risk of Rain 2 as one of the most popular roguelites along with these games. Each of these games are on the list because of the simple fact that they are different in some way. Dead Cells has incredibly good gameplay. Really, I personally like Risk of Rain 2 more, but I really love Dead Cells' movement and attack mechanics. Also, Dead Cells has that unique item unlocking system with the Dead Cells TM. Noita has an extremely interactable world where anything can kill you. And for Risk of Rain 2, gun, characters, and 3D. On top of that, Risk of Rain 2 has a game mechanic that will be the main point of this video. That game mechanic is the difficulty system that makes it so that the game gets harder as time goes on. Since Risk of Rain 2 is built around this system, it is the most important part of the game. Before I explain why this difficulty system just works, I want to explain just how it works. So there are 9 main difficulties, and those are easy, normal, hard, very hard, insane, impossible, I see you, I am coming for you, and finally, I'm not going to do a fake laugh because it just won't sound that good. Each of these 9 main difficulties contains a sub-difficulty. This can be seen in-game above the main difficulty indicator and below the stage count, so right here. So this means that the difficulty doesn't just spontaneously increase when it hits the main difficulty border. It keeps increasing all the time. And here is where I talk about how this difficulty mechanic works extremely well for multiple reasons.
Just works.
The first reason is that it incentivizes players to make the most of their time. If you go on any Risk of Rain 2 tutorial video or thread, it will contain a part about time management. The best advice is, of course, that you shouldn't stay on the stage longer than 5 minutes. Because, like I said, the difficulty is always increasing, and to those who haven't played Risk of Rain 2, you might be thinking, if you just spend 5 minutes on each level, doesn't it just make the game like an ordinary roguelite, where there are just stage difficulties instead of a main time-related difficulty? If you were thinking that, you are wrong, because the difficulty doesn't just increase in a linear curve, it increases in an exponential curve. What I mean by that is that every time you complete a stage, the difficulty jumps forward and the difficulty bar starts increasing faster, until you reach sub-difficulty 99 of the final difficulty, where the difficulty increase stops. The second reason Risk of Rain 2's difficulty works is that it gives players different ways to play. This isn't as important of a reason as reason 1, but still, since the difficulty increases over time, it gives players 3 different ways to play. The first way is what I like to call the fast way. You spend only 5 minutes per stage and you stick to that rule no matter what. I usually play this way when I want to kill Mithrix. The second way is what I would call the normal way. This is where you play casually. You spend as much time as you need and you at least try to completely loot stages. The final way is the take your time way. And as you might have guessed, this is the playstyle where you just don't go to other stages. This of course isn't a valid way of playing, but I sometimes, although rarely, like to chill on the first stage for a long time. The third reason that Risk of Rain 2's difficulty Alright, that joke's getting old. The third reason that Risk of Rain 2's difficulty works extremely well is the customizability. You can modify the difficulty of the difficulty of the difficulty of the difficulty with artifacts. These artifacts allow you to customize the run however you like. Let's say that you are having bad luck with drops, and because of that you have to search more, making you lose time. Well, if you here on stage 5 enter a code, you can unlock artifacts. One of these artifacts gives you the ability of choosing whatever item you want. Of course, you could count this as cheating, and I don't use artifacts, but it is still a nice addition that makes the game more fun. The final reason is that it makes the game more unique. One of the mechanics that makes Risk of Rain 2 stand out from the crowd is the difficulty system. Yep, that's it, that's the final reason. I know this video was somewhat short, but thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Goodbye.